Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. At the range now on a very cold and snowy day, but we're going to do a range comparison with the Glock 21 Gen 4 in 45 versus the Remington R1 Limited, also in 45. They are very different. The things that are in common is that they are both double stack 45 ACP handguns and they're both full size. A lot of differences, but we're going to compare them anyways. Glock 21, it has a 4.61 inch barrel. It is a large gun, but the larger Glock is a Glock 41. That's a long slide Glock. And then the smaller 45 is the Glock 30. Carries 13 rounds in the mag. It does have, this one has XS big dot night sights on there, and a trigger pull that I measure right at 5.5 pounds. Now I know Glock says on their site that their guns are typically 5.5 pounds. I have not found that to be true, but this one actually is. It does have an accessory rail there, same Glock type of feel to it, you know, a little blocky. And you know, the magazine, this thing has fired everything that I have run through it throughout the years. I've had it for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, and I've always enjoyed it. Let's take a few shots and see how it does. Felt the case come back at me there. But there it is, Glock 21. Nice handgun. Many people consider this a great home defense choice for those who want to use a handgun at home. But here we have the Remington R1 Limited, also a double stack. It's a 1911, carries 15 rounds, so 2 more rounds. Of course, a single action trigger that we're looking at 4.5 pounds. LPA adjustable sights, fiber optic front sight, front serrations, flared out magwell, 5-inch barrel, full length guide rod, G10 grips. Now it's clear that in this comparison, this one is more feature loaded, but it's also much more expensive. You're looking at about $550 to $600 for this. You're looking at about $1,000 for this. So I'm going to ask you to decide if it's worth it. You know, do you love the 1911 so much that it is a better choice? Now, the R1 Limited, I already mentioned 15 rounds, but it is a nice shooting handgun. I also owned this for over 2 years, approximately about the same, I would guess. And I have always enjoyed this one as well. A very nice handgun. I already mentioned adjustable sights, G10 grips, ambidextrous thumb safety. And the one thing that this has over the Glock, if this is an advantage, is weight. You're looking at 54.5 ounces loaded, and here you're looking at 39.5 ounces loaded, so about 15 ounces heavier with this double stack 1911. Let's take a few shots here. All right, so which one would you choose if you had to just choose one? Both of these are fine models. Both of them fire every time I've pulled a trigger, at least in the last 3 years. They are very different, as mentioned, but is price a factor? Well, price is always a factor, but in this comparison, what do you think? Would you go a little bit less expensive and get the reliability and the ruggedness of a Glock, or are you more into a little more finer handgun in the 1911, the 4.5 pound trigger pull versus the 5.5 pound trigger pull, the 5-inch barrel versus the 4-inch barrel? Not a great difference on the slide length. Of course, that's not including the extended beaver tail. 13 rounds, 15 rounds. It's a tough choice. You know, are you willing to pay the additional money for the Remington R1 Limited? Well, let me tell you what I think. Love the gun, but I shoot this better. And the fact that they're both double stack 45s, that's great, but I actually think it's worth the additional money. Now whether it's this Remington or any other 1911 and 45, I just really enjoy it. I think it's a fine handgun, and everything that it offers just suits me and what I'm looking for. A little bit better than the Glock, but I'm sure I'll get feedback with all types of different opinions about which one is better, but I think they're both pretty outstanding. I'm going with the Remington. Which one would you choose? If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.